it down with the system. Or like you did that with the system.
We're live.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is another lovely Friday evening with the Ultra Heelz Wrestling Podcast. I'm Darth Messiah. Santa's a pedo. This man on the other side of the screen, what's your name?
Y'all know my name, Alex the motherfucking Hill, a.k.a. the Stanley Podcast, a.k.a. fuck the motherfucking revival to the day I die.
So how you living, sir? It's been a couple weeks.
Yeah, man, working hard, trying to hardly not work, tired of the motherfucker.
I feel that. I feel that.
Whole family shit in my house, so, when I come home, I'm sleep 9 out of 10. Like, last week, y'all did the show. I was like, yeah, I put my alarm on. I'm going to get on the show. My alarm went off, I guess, like 3 times because I woke up at like 9:50. I was like, well, missed that show.
Yep.
Oh, well.
Yeah, I'm burning the candle at both ends. My only day off for the next like 2.5 weeks is Christmas.
I'm off on Christmas and I'm off on New Year's Day, and after that, the next day I'm off is probably gonna be in time for my birthday in February.
Wow. Damn. Yeah. Well, yeah, life is rough out in the streets.
That means time to get drunk.
I don't have time to do anything anymore. It's ridiculous.
I do all my shit while I'm working. I be at work sending videos, reposting shit, and looking at porn. That's why I be at work looking at porn. I don't give a shit. Sometimes you gotta let the day go by fast. And while some ass clap, make the day go by quick.
I wish I had that kind of time at work.
Shit, you could. I don't have that time to work, but I make it. I go in the bathroom, but I got to use the bathroom about 30, 40 minutes. Being there just chilling, sitting on the toilet and looking at videos.
Yeah, I don't dump at work, so they would know something's up if I disappeared for more than 5 minutes.
Look, I would say the same thing, Brett, but it's a KFC and a McDonald's and a Subway and all other places around here that make you do that, so there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Everything by my job is closing. The only thing left is the mall, and I'm not going in the mall for lunch because you're just never going to get back out.
If I go in the mall for lunch, I'm gonna spend money on something else and not food. I'm just be broke.
Yeah,
so I waste time.
I feel you.
So I'm happy the mall by me is like far as hell away both ways.
Mm. So last week's SmackDown, rather uneventful going into the TLC.
They got bad ratings. Going into TLC.
SmackDown in general is getting bad rates. It's dipping. It's barely above 2 million at this point. I can't
say I don't feel bad.
And speaking of which, Eric Bischoff is shooting on WWE since he left. He's been talking about Bruce Pritchard and what the decisions he's making. But meanwhile,
shit, man.
Meanwhile, you have no idea what Eric Bischoff actually did while he was employed.
Do anybody know anybody WWE does behind the scenes when they actually get employed?
Not really.
Because they just hired Just Incredible back, but they hired him back for a backstage role. Never said what it was.
Yo, we got Kelvin in the chat, the commissioner.
Yo.
The commissioner.
Welcome back, commissioner.
It's been a while since Kevin been in here. I talked to him the other day.
Oh, salute to Kelvin and his new Instagram group account. What is it? World Wrestling Observer.
Yep.
Got some good stuff going on over there. A friend of the pod, if you will. A friend of the pod.
A friend of the old pod. That's a friend of the new pod. That's going to be a friend for every pod that ever happens.
Basically. Good guy.
Even though it took us almost a quarter of a year to find him, but still.
Hey, he came back though.
Hey man, shit, a lot of searching shit. We about to put his face on milk cards.
He was on commission. What do we call it?
A hiatus. He was on assignment. He was on assignment.
Yeah, that was a long ass assignment. They said his ass to Afghanistan or something.
That's what happens when you go under deep cover.
Deep cover. He was in Russia.
When you're under deep cover, you get deep throat.
Whoa.
I thought having you go in deep cover, you become Mickey James.
Whoa.
Speaking of which, where is Mickey James? Because I'm seeing her
backstage role also.
Oh, she's not wrestling anymore?
No, backstage role also.
Wow.
So a lot of them are taking backstage roles. Alicia Fox, her, besides Jason Jordan, Just Incredible, Abyss.
Because I've been seeing Mickey James doing all kinds of like country like TV appearances and whatnot. She's going everywhere with Nick Aldous, but just not on NWA TV. But it's like I've seen Mickey James everywhere, but except on WWE TV.
Yeah, people want her to come back, but she got a backstage role. I guess she realized that like the Women Revolution is going to take place, and she can keep up with them. But I don't think she wanted to put her body through all that stress of doing all that shit. So
I want her back. I want her back.
Hey man, and I bet you Batista and Johnson to do too. But yeah, not everybody can get it.
Speaking of Batista, I'm still waiting for Dana Brooke to come out and say how big his meat is. Pause.
First of all, I'm just waiting for her to come out and say that she might steal his moveset, get his spear and his bomb. She already got the Batista bomb.
She did the Batista bomb because she did it. I think 2 weeks ago on SmackDown, and the next morning she sent out a tweet. She's like, "Did I do it right?" And she tagged Batista.
Oh yeah, she called him Daddy too. She was like, "I do it right, Daddy." I was like, "Wow, Daddy gonna give a fuck."
And Batista's what, like 52, and she's like 29.
So it's about right. It's about Daddy. Shit, my mom is 55. I'm 33. So yeah, he had a late years.
We got a caller, guys.
What a caller?
Put him through.
I heard that in a minute. I say dark like he's frozen over there.
Nah, I'm good. I'm good.
Who was the caller?
He's on the line. Speak for us. This is the Trios Podcast. Say something, brah.
It's not a sham. It's not a scam. It's the real X-Man. Damn, on Instagram. Follow me, fam.
Yeah.
Mr. Off the line with weak batter. Mr. Off the line with a bloody knuckle.
Keep going.
Mr. Bill for two, but it's really for one. I'm Smack Power Watch or Smack Down. Can I use the W information and use Disney Plus information?
Nah, I'm just gonna download it and send it to you.
Mr. Razor Cabron. Mr. Pipe Rent Street, the White Drink.
Oh my.
Mr. Show Me the Facts Man Damn. And X-Man Damn is out doing errands. God damn it. It's not a scam. And I'm fucking pissed.
I heard you had a couple kilos over there.
Yeah, I got fucking 10,000 pounds of shit
You got the keys
to do here at work.
What are you doing with all that weight though?
I push it. I push it real good.
There was so many ways to take that push it. Because there's like 15 different songs that use push it.
Word.
Yeah, but the only one that came to mind with me was Salt and Pepper.
I thought of Push It to the Limit.
Yeah, he went Rick Ross.
I went Salt and Pepper because that's the only one I know when somebody says I push it real good. That's the first thing that comes to mind.
Oh, yo, Kelvin in the chat says he dodged Vladimir Putin in Russia. He was deep cover.
Word.
Oh, damn.
Kelvin,
You should have stayed on this a little
man.
bit longer. We needed your services.
It was a good 9 months we had Calvin on T-shirts because we thought he was gone.
Yeah, we had him on milk cartons and T-shirts.
T-shirts. Freaking Amber Alerts.
Where's
I wish you still
Commissioner
had
Calvin?
I wish you still had some of them photos.
We was missing Kelvin, bro. Life wasn't the same.
Word,
It
like
wasn't
Calvin
really.
disappeared, and then everybody was asking for him. Like we would get everyday people. Where's Calvin? Where's the commissioner? Where's the commission?
Word. People were
Damn, where's the
stressing.
commission?
People were stressing, bro.
Word. And then we started stressing too, because we was like, damn, we just realized, hell yeah, where the hell is Calvin?
Yep.
I'm happy he's
All
back
I
though.
want to say,
He's still missing some people.
all I want to say, is that I hope you guys talk about Marty Scurll making his way to NWA.
Thank you for reminding me because I almost forgot about. I caught NWA Power this week and I almost forgot to talk about it tonight. It was that's a quite interesting move by Marty Scurll. While you're on,
It's unpredictable.
do you think he's gonna stay or do you think this is like maybe like 3 months, 6 month kind of thing with him?
All right,
I think
here's
it's
the
3,
thing
6
going
months.
on with NWA.
Okay.
Because the NWA, they signing people up for like a fucking season or whatever. And they fucking tape shit all in like a day.
Yeah, they tape like 2-3 days, and that's like 10 episodes.
Yes. So that's like their little thing.
Yeah, because they
what
just
could happen?
Go ahead.
Just like the Rock and Roll Express, like the Rock and Roll Express is in the AEW, even though they did stuff with NWA, and they're the fucking tag champs right now. Who would have thought? But kudos to them winning the tag champs, and kudos for Marty Scurll with the big swerve, because not for nothing, everybody thought he was going to AEW, and if he would have popped up over there, maybe everybody was like, it's all right, whatever. We knew this was happening.
Mm-hmm.
But him coming to NWA was like a fucking shock.
To be honest,
Because however long he's going to be there, they've already taped season 2. They did that the second week of December. So they're not taping again until I believe it's like the end of January. It's like the 24th, 25th, 26th or something like that. Because during this week's episode they were promoting tickets for the next group of tapings.
Alex's whole world went upside down for a minute. I was like, yo, is there an earthquake?
y'all hear me?
Alex is leaning back.
Word. Alex, your whole world went upside down for a minute.
So do you see let's say Marty Scurll this is his permanent home. Do you see him winning the title from Nick Aldis?
If he's staying on NWA, then it's a possibility. But just like Nick Aldis says, and everybody else, he needs to work his way to the top. Mm-hmm. He can't just pass by the question mark, which is the most over person in NWA right now.
The question mark, yeah.
And shout out to Damian Sandow for winning that title.
Get Aaron Rex. Aaron Rex.
But goddamn, I didn't even know he was gonna. I didn't even know he was in the title picture.
That was the national championship he won.
Yeah.
And come to find out, Nick Aldis is now in the title picture for the TV championship because he wants to be the first ever simultaneous world champion and TV championship in NWA.
Yeah, that's true. They did reveal the TV championship this week.
Which I'm kind of confused about. Why do they need a second mid-card title?
Before AEW,
they need everybody to fight for something. They can't have everybody just be bored.
I guess.
I think NWA is growing with their talent, and they just need to have more rivalries going on.
Not necessarily, because it's like a confined space. It's set in this little space, so you don't need tons of stuff going on, and everything they do is well drawn out. They're not rushing through stuff, so I don't need 6-7 rivalries going at once. I'm good with 3 or 4.
One thing I gotta mention, the show that happened this week, I noticed they didn't have any those good, weird, old school commercials.
Oh yeah. There was just a couple in the beginning, and that was it.
Yeah, so like they need to continue that because that's the fucking coolest thing I've ever seen.
And how do you feel about Stu Bennett on commentary, aka Wade Barrett?
He's actually perfect. He's fucking great. He articulates perfect, and you can't find a better replacement other than him. Besides,
And you know what's funny? His accent disappears too. Cause I was like, wait, is that him? Cause I missed like the first few minutes because I watched it live, and as he's talking, I'm like, I think that's Wade Barrett. Yeah, that's him. That's him.
He sounds good on the mic. And
yeah.
He takes his time, and he doesn't talk no bullshit, so that's cool.
Cause like with Nigel McGuinness, you clearly hear his English accent, but
yeah.
But Stu Bennett, his kind of disappears at times.
I think that's the best thing that he could have done, because if Stu Bennett would have went to WWE just to be an announcer, it just wouldn't. It'll just be the same like it was when he first left. Like people really didn't give a fuck.
Because nobody in WWE can get over as an announcer other than Morrow, and Nigel to some extent.
Well, Samoa Joe is doing a great job.
Well, he's back to wrestling, so I think this coming Monday is going to be his last week, because they hinted at the thing where he had who was it? he had the situation with, I forgot already. Is it Randy Orton? Yeah, it's Randy and the Revival. Is it? No. When we talk about Raw, we'll get to that thing. But well, is there anything from last week's SmackDown that was important? Because that's what I was talking about when you called in.
No.
Okay, so we'll just jump to TLC. TLC. Let's go straight to the main event because I liked it and I didn't like it at the same time. Great spots. But even without the concussion to Kairi Sane, it seemed like there was a lot of dead space within that match. It went too long.
Well, shout out to Becky Lynch for doing the right thing and putting Kairi Sane under the apron.
She should have done it sooner because when she went to do that thing off the top rope where Becky and Charlotte were both laying on the table, what move was she attempting to do? Was it supposed to be a crossbody? Because Charlotte rolled off the table and Kairi just basically smashed her face into the table and completely missed Becky. And that move made no sense.
Hey man, when you small and you Asian, you know you're not aerodynamic. You float wherever the wind goes.
And then on the other side of the ring, when Charlotte was supposed to powerbomb Kairi Sane through the table, first there was the spear. Kairi Sane just basically she just basically laid down, and Charlotte's like, "What's wrong with you?" And then she went for the powerbomb.
Charlotte slapped her. Charlotte slapped her. Like for no apparent reason. I don't think she had a concussion.
She picked her up for the powerbomb, and she's just dangling upside down. And Charlotte said, "Fuck you," whoom, and slammed her through the table.
Yeah.
If that was
that power. That's that power of that Spanish man of hers with them Timberlands. She pulled out her Timberland powers.
If she didn't have the body of a 16-year-old boy, she would have never picked her up.
To be honest, if she didn't have the power of a 16-year-old boy built like a 42-year-old man and looked like a 37-year-old soccer mom, it wouldn't have worked.
Because that's one of the strongest, I don't know, I've seen in a long time.
Shit, that looked like some 2K20 type of power bomb.
What do you think about Humberto Carrillo defeating Andrade and Andrade, being at odds with Zelina Vega?
I don't want them to break them up. I really don't.
I have a funny feeling that Zelina Vega is gonna jump ship and join Humberto.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, which is kind of silly.
Which makes sense.
But then it still kind of sucks because Alberto can speak good English. So what would be the purpose of her? Like
exactly,
she's the major of Andrade because Andrade is still working on getting his English down, right?
Yeah.
So he really can't do interviews by his dolo, and they're not gonna have him in front of the camera talking all the damn time. So it defeats the purpose.
Right.
Yeah, because they every time they push Andrade, all of a sudden he's gonna be on a 5-match losing streak. And it makes no sense what they're doing with him, because now they're pushing Humberto over Andrade. I guess there can only be one Mexican with a push at the same time. Because where's Rey Mysterio since he won the title?
I'm gonna say, don't forget we have Rey Mysterio and Alberto Del Rio, and then they just like cut Rey Mysterio push for Alberto Del Rio.
Yep.
Ray, you've been here forever, but Berto's a little younger, so we could use him a little bit more.
And what I'm going to call the match of the night, which was the New Day defeating the Revival in a ladder match. Kofi was walking the ropes. Kofi was diving off of stuff. Kofi was jumping off the turnbuckle onto a ladder. Kofi was everywhere. And I
gotta tell you though, the last fucking 4 minutes of that match was fucking like crazy.
Yep.
Like you didn't know who the fuck was gonna take the win.
Nah, I knew New Day was gonna win, but Revival made it look good.
They made it look real good.
They do what they do.
I think that right there took the cake out of the whole show.
Yeah, that was match of the night. It went downhill as the night went on. Next up, you had Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy was solid. That was a lot.
I must say, Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy match for me was match of the night for the simple fact that we finally got somebody to fight Aleister Black that was basically his speed, his style of fighting. So there really was. To be honest, watching that match over, there was really no misses.
Yeah, because
there was really no
Buddy
hiccups,
Murphy
and everything was just so fluid.
Buddy Murphy smashed Aleister Black's nose. You saw him bleeding, right?
Yeah.
So that was just kicks.
That match was good.
There's kicks and elbows and punches for like a good 10 minutes straight between the two of them.
Like, to me, that was match of the night for the simple fact that I was expecting for them to go on damn near like pre-show.
Right.
Even though I know everybody wanted it, I was like, they're going to be probably pre-show, so ain't nobody really going to be able to see it. But to have them be the match that started off the pay-per-view and then let them just go out and beat them, because it was really, like, they didn't limit them on none of their moves. They did all their signature moves through the whole night. And I was like, oh, wow, I said, this got to be a match of the night because we probably never going to get them to do this ever again.
Well,
because Vince and Triple H was not there for TLC.
I was about to say that both Vince and Triple H were not there. Then you had a match that didn't need to happen, which was the War Raiders and the OC, which ended in a double countout because for some reason, they don't want to give either OC beats them or it's a double countout between these two.
50-50 booking.
But meanwhile, the War Raiders were at the time tag team champions. So it again, one of these stop-start pushes that just make no sense. And another match that just didn't need to happen, King Corbin versus Roman Reigns in a TLC match. I'm so sick of TLC matches that don't have a title involved. Because otherwise, it's just basically a hardcore match, Extreme Rules match, no DQ, no holds barred, whatever you want to call it. It's just a match with no rules, and somebody's got to get pinned in the ring. There's no point in having a TLC match without a title.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Wasn't that the match that they were like calling? They were outside the ring and the referee was calling for a count? There was like a fuck up that night.
Oh no! I know what fuck up. Well, I spotted another fuck up that nobody else has seen. We'll get to that in a second. The other thing, you how many people does it take to beat Roman Reigns? You had Corbin, Ziggler, the Revivals, and like what 10 bodyguards, 10 jabronis,
10 NXT starter aficionados.
Yeah.
AKA WWE's Dark Order.
Yes, I was going to bring that up. It's just basically Dark Order. Bobby Lashley and Rusev's table match. That was better than I expected. It wasn't great, but it was better than I expected.
Let me tell you something.
They went out.
I didn't watch that match at all.
Okay.
Because I don't care for the storyline.
I love it. I love the dumb shit. I'm here for the dumb shit.
Look. I got on Twitter to see what CM Punk was going to say about it.
Uh-huh.
And Fox posted the beginning card, and they said, I bet you CM Punk is going to watch this match. He replied with him watching a hockey game. He didn't even watch TLC.
Of course. He doesn't watch wrestling.
He posted a picture of the hockey game. He goes, nah, I don't think so. I was like, I love him so much for doing that.
He's being
honest.
He'll probably go home. He'll watch it Tuesday morning before he has to go, if he's even going to appear on Backstage this week, because, he's not a full-time participant.
First of all, did anybody see the Backstage with him explaining the match they should have had for Lana, Rusev, and Bobby Lashley?
Yes, I did. And he is very correct.
I would have watched that more than watching it at TLC.
And that's
I got something better. They need to have a Lana on a pole match.
You can't. It's sexist.
First of all, one, I would like that, but then, the feminists and WWE female fans and their gay fans and trans, it's just going to go downhill for WWE for a bad point.
Come on, man. It's gold. Gold, I tell you.
It's gold. It's gold, but, WWE trying to make sure they keep their Fox spot with their, $4 billion under their name, so they ain't trying to do none of that shit yet.
All right. Now, here's the screw-up that I caught that nobody else caught. All right, Bray Wyatt versus The Miz was a non-title match. But the referee presented the title at the beginning of the match like it was a title match.
Yes.
I didn't say that either.
He walked over to Miz. He showed it to Miz. He stood in the middle
ring.
Miz was held the belt up, but it was a non-title match. Technically, that was a title match.
Miz was legit like, no. I saw him say that.
Yeah. The Miz was trying to remind the referee it wasn't a title match, but he still went through with the presentation of the belt. So
That was funny.
in my book, that's officially a title match because the referee's an authority figure in the ring. He made it a title match.
That is true.
Maybe that's why Vince McMahon is so pissed right now too. Besides Kyrie getting that damn concussion.
By the way, that blue championship title looks, it's actually growing on me. I like it better than the regular.
Yeah, it's growing on me. I will give you that. It's growing on me, but
Look,
I think
it's not growing on me. I like it for the sole fact that they changed it to the blue brand, and I was like, that makes more sense with them having it. See how they are not the main show, they're the side show. I was like, that belt looked like it belonged over there in the first goddamn place.
And still, we have the heavyweight champion missing.
of course, because Brock Lesnar works when he wants to. Now jumping over,
he's just drawing attraction. So why would we need to see him?
Jumping over to Raw, Seth Rollins and the AOP kicked off the night, explaining their new alliance.
J&J Super Security.
Yeah, J&J. Yep, Super Security, exactly. Or Architects of Pain, as I like to call them.
Architects of Pain.
Yeah.
That's a better name than that's a better name
Because it's
what
still,
does AOP stand
it's
for
still,
again?
Authors of Pain.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Architects. I'm gonna go down. I like
Architects,
better.
it's still AOP, but you throw the Seth Rollins, the Architect of the Shield. Now,
I don't know how they're gonna take this shit. This shit gonna be weird.
They have to actually let them just destroy the entire roster. That's what has to happen. Not only Kevin Owens. Oh, yes. This is where Samoa Joe got involved. Later in the night, AOP and Seth Rollins were attacking Kevin Owens and who was it? Kevin Owens and
I don't know who the hell they was attacking besides Kevin Owens.
There's somebody else involved in it. I forgot who it is. Rey Mysterio. Kevin Owens and Rey Mysterio. So Samoa Joe, they were gonna put, I think it was Rey Mysterio through the announce table, but Samoa Joe stood up and said, So now Samoa Joe is cleared for action to return to the ring. So they're hinting at a six-way feud between AOP and Seth Rollins versus Mysterio, Samoa Joe, and Kevin Owens.
I love a six-way dance.
Now, they also had that gauntlet match for the United States Championship, but it didn't end cleanly because Andrade decided to DDT Humberto on the he ripped up the padding and DDT him on the concrete. I believe they're saying that Seth Rollins is going to be the number one contender for the U.S. Championship against Rey Mysterio, which furthers this six-way thing they've got going on.
That's a big jump from
they got to put a title on him
to losing the Survivor Series, and all of a sudden you're in the U.S. title picture.
Yeah, so basically you had this hour-long match just to fill time because the winner means nothing in that match.
Seth Rollins is the man of the year.
The elephant in the room.
Which was?
The American Dragon, Daniel Bryan showing up.
Oh, that's SmackDown. We passed that. But yeah, you're right.
No, I'm talking about that. That was TLC.
What? Oh,
that was TLC,
that was TLC. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah, can we talk about how Daniel Bryan looks like how he did 10 years ago for real?
Basically,
he looked good.
Yeah.
He like he never aged. He like he went home. He was like, you know what? They're gonna go ahead and cut it off now. Cut the beard down. I think the time of the GOAT is gone, and we should start the yes movement back up one more time.
Kelvin says Matt Hardy impressed me during that gauntlet match.
Yeah. Oh,
Matt Hardy impressed everybody always.
Has anybody watched Free to Delete on Matt Hardy's YouTube channel?
I'm sorry, I watch him and follow him on Twitter. I'm always looking at that shit when he posted.
It's only like 6 minutes.
I know, but I'm strongly under the impression that Matt Hardy is coming for Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania because there's the scene in the skit he does where his assistant, I forgot who his assistant is, but he's dumping the water from the Lake of Reincarnation into the Reservoir of Rejuvenation. That's the pool, the Reservoir of Rejuvenation. And when he dumps one of the buckets, it says, "Let me in."
What?
You didn't catch that, did you?
I didn't.
He's gonna dump one of the buckets into the pool, and the water says to him, "Let me in." So that's clearly Bray Wyatt. The broken brilliance is coming back for the Fiend.
I think this is Matt Hardy trying to make his fate.
Look, I'm okay with that storyline. If it goes that route, I'm okay with it because Matt Hardy only got like a couple more months for his contract is up. Actually, at the end of February.
Mm-hmm.
Calvin also says his assistant's name is Risen.
There you go. I couldn't remember. But yeah, in the little miniseries he has going right now, all the characters are back. Skarsgård, Vanguard 1, Senor Benjamin is back. Everybody's there.
It's hard being Matt Hardy. It ain't hard being broken Matt Hardy.
Also on Raw, what was the only other thing we'll talk about? Bobby and Lana. Bobby and Lana are now getting married. Allegedly this coming week on Raw, because Lana asked Bobby to ask her to marry me.
Yeah, that's still. I'm still confused with that bullshit. Whatever. Let's just go with it because it's still going better than the Dolph Ziggler shit.
Yeah.
How do you like that now, Darth?
I told you I'm here for the dumb shit. I wanted to see this keep going.
I'm not here for the dumb shit. I like Bobby Lashley, but I need Bobby to fight Brock already. God damn it! That's all I really wanted him to do since he's been back. Also, the shit is just.
I mean, I agree with that, but I'm here for the dumb shit while it's good and good.
Calvin says the wedding is December 30th,
which is 2 Mondays from now. Yeah, the Monday after Christmas. Asuka had a match against Deonna Purrazzo from NXT. She looked good. She got some good stuff off against Asuka.
They did a good job.
Main event was Randy Orton defeating AJ Styles. And, of course, the OC and the Viking Raiders got involved, but solid match nonetheless between these two, who had a match at WrestleMania this year, so Randy got his win back. Because why?
Cincinnati 1-1.
50-50 booking, that's why.
Yeah.
Wednesday Night Wars. AEW.
All right.
AEW lost this week.
Hey, guys.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, guys. I gotta finish here. You guys have a great show.
All right,
I just want to say one thing before I go.
Go move that weight.
Yeah, I gotta move that weight. Before I go, I just want to say, Kenny Omega and Adam Page, if they start feuding, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're doing a great job leading into it. But all right, guys, have a good show. It's not a sham. It's not a scam. It's the real X-Man. Damn on Instagram. Follow me, fam.
Yeah.
And I'll be back next week. I am on assignment, moving that weight. 10 pounds of gold.
Oh, and here's a quick sneak peek in next week's episode. Is AEW a failure? Think about it. Think about it.
I thought about it. I don't know yet. I'll talk about that next week.
All right. Okay.
But
this week's Dynamite.
Did you watch the all AEW?
No, because this week is the first time I flipped back and forth the entire night because of where NXT was placing their matches on the show. Because the opening match was Cole and Finn Balor, so I was watching that over the tag match with the Elite and the Lucha Bros. So I flipped back and forth all night.
Yeah.
But
Cole and Adam Cole and that Finn Balor match, boy, that reminded me of PGW all over again. And I was like, damn, I see Triple H is sitting there like, hey guys, I know y'all two fought about 11, 12 years ago. I need y'all to go out there and rekindle that goddamn action. Because we ain't gonna get y'all no direction. Just go do what the fuck y'all want. We just gonna have a little spot happen in between there to end this match, but y'all can just go do the hell y'all want.
And I was pretty confident that the match wouldn't end clean. I knew somebody was going to come out, and I had a feeling it was going to be Gargano. So there was no real surprise there for me. But I need another match between Cole and Finn.
To be honest, I do too, but I need to be at an NXT takeover.
Yes.
So they can go all out. And I need them to be the end of the show. So I need that almost that Ciampa and Gargano street fight kind of like 30, 40-minute match.
Uh-huh.
I need that because I feel like that's the only way that we're going to understand that Adam Cole and Finn Balor are going to be the two top guys in NXT besides Keith Lee. I'm sorry. I had to sneeze real quick.
Oh, you can't do that around Vince McMahon. He'll kill you.
Oh, a sneeze?
Yeah, he doesn't allow people to sneeze in front of him.
Fucking germaphobe.
No, it's not even germaphobe. He says sneezing is a weakness. If you can't control your sneeze, you can't control your life.
But Vince McMahon can't control his goddamn wrestler, so what the fuck that tell you? I read a sneeze then. Shit.
Yeah. Well, we'll just do NXT since we're talking about it. Next up was Damian Priest and Killian Dane. I love Damian Priest. I didn't know who he was until like 2 months ago. He's got me hooked.
Bro, I've been watching him since since ROH, right before he left. I had just started realizing who he was, and I had just started liking him. And then when he said he was like his final match that he was leaving, I was like, bro, I hope he go to NXT because if he gonna go to NXT and he go to AEW, he's not gonna fight half the people that he fought that was already at NXT. Right. And then when he showed up, I was like, oh man, this is gonna be the best time ever for him.
Yeah. Next match was Cameron Grimes defeating Kushida. I don't like what they're doing with Kishida. They seem like to be turning him into a comedy gimmick.
Technically, at this point right now, this is all he kind of really wants right now. Like he's
really?
still trying to find his place in NXT and in the United States. Even though he speaks a fair amount of good English, he's still trying to find his like spot because he's not like he was in New Japan where he's a big household name there. He came to the States. And people know of him because of his, Back to the Future gimmick and Wrestle Kingdom entrances, but nobody really knows the man matches like that besides like Ronaldo and them. They know his matches because they studied him, they followed him, but WWE fans like know of him just because of New Japan. If it wasn't with New Japan, nobody would know him. Like if he's in Dragon Gate, wouldn't nobody even know who the fuck he was.
As long as they do more with him than they did with Kenta, that's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking. As long as he's fighting
Trevor Lee right now, I'm okay with it because Trevor Lee gives him a good run for his money for the matches that they do.
Yeah. Next match was an extended squash. It was Io Shirai defeating Santana Garrett.
Did you see the thing that happened with Io Shirai with the crowd?
Probably not, because I basically all I saw was like the start and the finish. Because again, I was flipping back and forth this night.
In the beginning of the match, she's standing in the corner while the comes out. And basically, she's stretching. She turns around, and somebody in the crowd goes, "Fuck you, go back to China." And she looks at them and goes, "Bitch," and you hear it clearly. And then she drops down to that split. They couldn't edit it out fast enough.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so that'll be gone when I go back to watching on demand. Yeah.
The sad thing is, you want to know how you missed the part? When you go look at it on YouTube and like you go try to see it, the announcers got turned up between that one part. They got louder than the crowd, and then they went back to being normal.
Okay.
Matter of fact, it's on Instagram. If I find it, I'll send it to you.
Okay. Then there was Pete Dunne versus Travis Banks. I did not see this one at all. Did you see this one?
It was basically an NXT UK match.
Okay.
A lot of hard hits, a lot of hard, brutal shit. Pete Dunne hitting his finisher on him, but the match was actually good. Like there was a lot of good strong hits, a lot of good match. It was basically just a UK brawler match, basically. For that moment, it was good for the time. It had a crowd going.
And then the semi-main event, because the main event they put on first technically, but Rhea Ripley defeated Shayna Baszler to become the new NXT Women's Champion.
And I'm scared for that now.
Well. I'm not necessarily scared because I'm sure Shayna will get a rematch. I'm pretty sure she's going to lose the rematch Because
That's just it. I don't know if she'll get the rematch because Vince kind of won her on Raw, and he won her on the main roster to fight Becky Lynch, and he's trying to get that for a WrestleMania match.
She'll probably, because there's a takeover the night before Royal Rumble, so she'll probably get her rematch there, but then she'll be in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, but I don't want to see her go to Raw because, like, it's already weird because we already got Sonya Deville.
No,
we have her.
She's probably going to SmackDown because Ronda's coming back.
Then her two roadies won't be there with her, so they'll be NXT just floating around until they get their own limelight started.
Right.
And then Ronda Rousey is like still in the back, being confirmed to be back sometime soon. So we're gonna have three UFC. We're gonna have three Miss MMA fighters in WWE, and only two of them are going to be used to be this destroy shit. But one of them will have to be
Sonya
the main
Deville
person.
doesn't count. Sonya Deville doesn't count.
Sonya Deville does count. She just don't get a limelight.
Yeah.
Like she counts. She just don't get the work she get. She don't get the work that she put in. Just like how Dana Brooke just starting to finally be recognized.
Yeah, they finally let her do her swanton on TV.
I ain't gonna lie, she hit that shit beautifully though.
Yeah, she did. She did.
Now I'm just waiting for Jeff Hardy to get his drunken ass back.
Oh Jesus Christ! Well, no, isn't he still out with his knee injury or whatever?
Yeah, he still is.
And
just like how we haven't seen the Usos in a minute, and then I come to find out that Jimmy had his court date finally, and he pleaded guilty, and they said not guilty.
That was Tuesday, right? He had his court date.
Yeah, so some shit that happened back in July.
Yeah, it was like his third DWI, so he had to go to court. He's facing jail time over your third DWI.
He got a new haircut too. He got like the Bruno Mars type of shit. Like it's faded here, and it's like a little fro going into a little mullet shit now.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't like this shit. Cut that shit off.
Wait, you just reminded me of injuries. Speaking of knee injuries with Jeff Hardy, Lars Sullivan. He was supposed to be coming back for the Royal Rumble. That was his original predicted date. He's going to be out till about June.
Damn.
Yeah.
All that big ass weight, and you still can't get good enough to come back yet. Shit.
Yeah, they're saying he's not healing fast enough to even start rehab. He hasn't even started any sort of lower body weightlifting yet.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Yep.
Oh well, it ain't like he wasn't an impact on TV anyway with all them squash matches. So they need to ship him back to NXT and let me see him and Keith Lee fight it out finally.
No, I was going to say Dominic Dijakovic, him and those two, or Lars Lars and Walter. I'd like to see that.
Look, give me Dietrich, Keith Lee, Lars Sullivan, and what you call him, Sandy, and put him just in a fatal four-way or like a monster ball match and just have him go at it.
Yeah, that would be pretty good. Now let's go back to AEW. Hangman is still kind of, not on the same page with Omega. And although they did win the match, right?
Mm-hmm.
They still won the match despite not being on the same page. No pun intended. Then you had the Butcher and the Blade defeat Cody and Darby Allin, which I actually liked them as a team, Cody and Darby.
It's a weird team.
Yeah. Hey,
it's
Malcolm.
a weird team, like how Kofi Kingston and Evan Bourne was a weird team, but they worked. I
downloaded Star Wars. I'm gonna watch it tonight. 3 times?
I to go watch it, but a nigga broke.
4 times? You paid 4 times, or you just stayed in the theater? Oh, okay. That's another story.
I was like, who you talking to? It sounded like you talking to Joe.
No, Malcolm.
Oh, Malcolm. Oh, yeah. Then he probably he paid for the once and then sat there.
The great Malcolm Carter of It's Friday podcast. Check him out on. I forgot what YouTube. You're on YouTube, right? Yeah. I don't. For some reason, I don't follow you, but I do catch a little bit of your show.
I like how he promoted, but I don't follow you.
I'm not even gonna lie to the man. I for some reason, I'm not subscribed to his channel.
That was hella harsh.
Oh, your new name is Mac, by the way.
No.
Your return of the Mac.
Return of the Mac.
Return of the Mac. I don't know. It occurred to me when we were talking on Facebook the other day. It just Return of the Mac.
But she said she'd never lie to me.
All right.
You know what? That actually goes with him, so that makes sense.
Yeah. Then we had Awesome Kong in a squash match against Miranda Alslea or something. I don't know her name. But this
Jobber, got it.
Yeah, basically. This Nightmare Collective thing, please miss me with it. How about you?
I would take that Nightmare cutting hair bullshit over Eric Rowan carrying around that goddamn fucking lobster cage with a fucking blanket over.
But it's Baby Yoda. He's carrying around Baby Yoda.
Disney don't owe them niggas yet, so he ain't carrying baby shit.
They're foreshadowing Disney buying WWE, so he's carrying around Baby Yoda.
Man, you better find somebody else. He better be walking around with Bray Wyatt's original dreadlocks on the side of his head.
And by the way, if anybody's wondering, I'm drinking organic beer right now. It's Crooked Marker. It's 0 sugar, made with organic alcohol, tangerine flavor. It's actually pretty good. It's like Mike's, but no sugar, and it's all organic.
Yeah. How much alcohol percentage is in there?
6%. Huh. Yeah. It's
I need about a case of those. I'm gonna down them bitches like Stone Cold.
Where'd you find this? Expensive though. It was it $9.99 for a 4-pack.
Nigga, I'm in North Carolina. That's shit, nigga. Everything down here, 4-pack is damn near like $9.99. That's normal.
Well, this was a sample, so I didn't pay for it.
You get the samples.
Yeah, I graced Gnarly Marv today with a bag of stuff. He's got.
I know. I heard him. I heard him say Christmas came early.
He's got the 1911 donut cider. He's got Brooklyn Defender IPA, and he's got a Smirnoff Cranberry Lime Hard Seltzer.
Don't forget the Malibu.
I miss being in now because I like to have some.
My half a bottle of Malibu that I haven't finished. It's been in my closet for a couple months.
It got finished.
Oh, already? Already.
Yeah, that shit got. So that was quick in a hurry.
Chris Jericho, technically defeated Marcos, Jungle Boy, and kind of technically lost against Jungle Boy because it's Chris Jericho and he makes up the rules when he feels like it.
Yeah, he does.
But long story short, Jungle Boy survived the 10 minutes. Chris Jericho told the ref, "Give me 5 more minutes. I'm gonna beat him." And then Jericho just walked out.
Hey man, it's Jericho. Jericho is doing what he sees. Jericho's doing what he thinks he's fit. So if he do something like this, he feels like he's trying to get somebody over. Mm-hmm. And I'm happy he's doing that because if they was in WWE, they would literally just be getting their ass whooped by like Braun Strowman and them every Monday.
Yeah. Then we had a women's #1 contender match. Britt Baker defeated Chris Statlander. Yo, Chris Statlander got some cakes on her. You seen it?
Nigga, first of all, 1, yes. 2, Tara Strong got some cakes on her. Have you seen that?
Who?
Tara Strong.
Yes. Oh, Tony Storm. Because I don't watch a lot of UK. Tony Storm got some. Oh yeah.
Let me tell you something. WWE make you wear those little booty shorts and them stockings right under there. When she's in New Japan, it's just the booty shorts, bro. She can just be everywhere.
Yeah.
I was like, Jesus Lord, I know what they was doing because they want to get demographic up. All they gotta do is be like, don't wear the stockings. Just go out there and wrestle. Watch that shit and be like, oh, NXT had a rate of 2 million viewers.
Yeah.
Kelvin says he got something we could talk about. What you got, Kelvin?
What you got?
Well, I mean,
what you got? Is it about a Chris Benoit joke?
It's gonna be a while before he responds.
Oh, but I was saying earlier this week, NXT defeated AEW. I almost said Impact. Wow. Defeated AEW in the TV ratings. I don't remember the exact numbers because I saw it on my way in here. I think it was NXT was like 860,000 viewers.
No, there's actually 930,000. It was almost at the million.
Yeah, and AEW was in like the mid 700s. So it was like a really dominant victory this week.
Oh, Kelvin says Sting said he's open to wrestle Undertaker at WrestleMania.
Oh, yes, I saw that.
He did say that.
He said that's the only reason he'll come back at this point is to have a match with Taker.
I'm okay with this. Let that man have that shit so he can fully just stop wrestling and stop thinking about it.
That's why old people wrestle.
Although we should have had this match at WrestleMania 31 in San Francisco because they were both in the same building at the same time, and they both had pointless matches that year. It was Sting and Triple H. It was Undertaker and Bray Wyatt, both completely pointless.
I think at that point they were trying to build up Sting's storyline, though.
Before he got that buckle bomb and messed up his neck.
No,
he got that dying work.
Because he came back the year before. He came back for SummerSlam the year before. So he had 6 months to build out a storyline. Because when he came back, it was to help John Cena win the U.S. title back from Seth Rollins.
Oh, but didn't he get injured halfway through that?
No, that was the following SummerSlam where Seth Rollins buckle bombed him, and that's when Sting said he's done. So it was he basically had a full year in WWE, but he had a match against Triple H and a match against Seth Rollins and lost both. That was Sting's WWE career.
Crazy times.
He should have never came to WWE.
Everybody comes back. They always come back.
Everybody, always. Still waiting for
CM
Punk.
It's a matter. It's only a matter of time. Because CM Punk, what's the story? He wants to have a match with Stone Cold. Is that what they're saying now?
Oh, he's been saying that for years, though.
He don't want to match Stone Cold. Fox Instagram and YouTube page and their Twitter posted a dream match of CM Punk versus Stone Cold.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
These niggas are instigators.
That's it.
Of bullshit they know is not going to happen.
Stone Cold don't want to do it. He don't want to.
No, Stone Cold's done.
Yeah, he don't want to get in shape.
Stone Cold already in shape. He just don't want to get back in the ring and do all that damn running around shit.
That Saudi money, I don't know if he can turn down that Saudi money. Because they got Shawn Michaels to come back with that Saudi money. So Shawn Michaels was done.
Yeah, but you also think about it. Triple H got him to come back too because he's over NXT helping him out now. So he got to get in the ring and train the little ones now. So he was going to get back in that ring regardless. He just didn't turn down the paycheck, but he probably was already in the ring probably 3 to 4 months prior to that training new people. Because remember Gargano and the Velveteen Dream, even though we don't know where the fuck he's at.
Oh, he's hurt. He's still hurt.
What does Stone Cold gain from doing it?
They talked about it so much.
Probably $10 million.
All right, that's a good point. Enough said. $10
million for 15 minutes of work.
First of all, he could take $10 million because didn't Tyson Fury get $15 million for that damn Saudi shit?
Yeah, and they spent like $10 million of that on freaking pyro for him.
So Stone Cold for $10 million, you think Rick's gonna be like, nah, we can't give you that. He's gonna be like, how Tyson Fury get fucking 15? That match was trash, but you want me to come back and you know the place gonna pop for me.
Yeah, if they throw some Saudi money at him, I can't say that Stone Cold is gonna say no.
Let's see what happens.
Stone Cold gonna be like, what? And you had the glass break, and he gonna go walking down there and not them tights no more. He gonna walk down there in them jeans shorts, some knee pads on.
I kind of don't want to see Stone Cold wrestle as an old man because his energy was too good back then.
That's the problem now with everybody. As much as we love them enough to know stay out the ring.
Yeah, like Stone Cold.
No, we don't. No, we do not. Because nobody would never say, Undertaker, stay your ass out that ring.
I'm telling Undertaker to stay out the ring.
For some reason.
Undertaker's life.
I don't want Undertaker to wrestle anymore. I'm done. I'm good.
Unless he's actually dead. If he's actually dead, then I guess go.
Because at this point, he has to retire in a casket match. Just take him out in a casket.
And that'll be the last thing he does his whole life.
Because you've already ruined the streak. You had the thing where he hung up his coat and his hat with Roman, but he still came back after both of those. So the only way you can end his match now is either a hearse match or a casket match. You take him out, and that's the end of it.
Oh, Inferno match.
No, that's Kane's match.
They won't do it.
That's Kane's match, Inferno.
Still.
Or Buried Alive. I'll be fine with Buried Alive too. Just something where technically he's dead. That's how you end the Undertaker now. He's dead.
Yeah, we're not gonna get that. Undertaker's gonna always show up because Vince McMahon always go to him. He ain't got nobody left. Everybody Vince McMahon had left from the original Attitude Era is all God says for Undertaker.
Yes,
he's not gonna let him go until Undertaker say, you know what, bruh? I think it's that time. I think I'm gonna go. I think Vince would be like, no, bruh. I can make you part CEO of the company. Just please stay with me.
Well, on Stone Cold's podcast with Undertaker, he said when he came back for the not Goldberg match, the tag match with Triple H and Shawn Michaels, he didn't want to do that. At that point, it was a favor to Vince. He was just, it's too much money to say no.
I think he's a yes man. I think Undertaker will do whatever Vince asks him to.
No, because he didn't do WrestleMania this year.
Price.
Vince wanted him for WrestleMania this year. He said no, I'm not coming back this year for WrestleMania. But then he did the Goldberg match. But then he did the Goldberg match.
He's not coming this year. But as long as there's a man say, "Hey, bro, like I got that Saudi Arabia money," so I bet you look at Michelle McCool's Instagram page, you'll see Undertaker in that goddamn gym squatting like 240.
Yeah. Now, what do you think about Edge? Is Edge really coming back to the ring, or is this just a bunch of hype?
Kelvin already said in the chat that Edge shot down the rumor.
Yeah, he did. But why did he sign a 3-year deal?
He signed a 3-year deal because there's something else in the back that's going to be doing. That's why he left the Edge and Christian Totally Awesome podcast. Because whatever he's going to do is going to take up so much time that he's not going to be able to have no free time to actually even do the podcast no more.
Well, the original reason he left the podcast was because Beth Phoenix is now doing NXT, and he's still working on some show or some movie or whatever. So that's why he left the podcast, because between the two of them having time to watch the kids, he couldn't do the podcast anymore. That was the original reason he left the podcast.
Well, my whole thing is he could do the podcast at the house. Look at fucking Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins. These motherfuckers got a toy podcast for WWE and their own shit. These niggas do shit while they on the road and at each other's house when they just have free time when they home.
And freaking Kofi, Xavier Woods runs a whole YouTube channel on the road.
Word. Hell, they got their own podcast now. See how you got that little foot?
Oh, yeah, that's right. They just started a podcast. I forgot about that.
Their podcast is funny as fuck because their first episode, they went through all the names WWE gave them. And every time Corbin Kingston said one, Big E kept going, like, church was like, preach now. Yes, Lord. Yes. Jesus. He just kept going through every name. He kept doing that shit. And I was like, why is this so entertaining? Outside the ring or in the ring, these dudes just put on the fucking show.
Okay, now are this the podcast on YouTube, or is it only on like Apple Music, Spotify?
To be honest, I think it might be on YouTube. Because the first trailer I saw was on YouTube. I saw a bit of piece of it on YouTube. What's
it called though?
I'll find out because I gotta look it up again because I know I follow Isaiah Woods on Twitter. So everything that they do,
I'll just go to his Twitter.
On Twitter, he always posted that shit no matter what it is.
Yeah, I'll just check his Twitter. That's all. All right, sir.
Check this out. Feel the power.
Okay, Feel the Power. All right.
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
All right, last thing before we get out of here. Main event of Dynamite. It was the Young Bucks taking on SCU, Frank Kazarian and Scorpio Sky for the AEW Tag Team Championships.
It was a good match.
Yeah, it was.
It was a good match except for that one botch move.
Was it bang for your buck? They messed up, right?
Yeah, that was the only thing that was just like awkward. I was like, damn, they fucked that up. I was like, everything was going smooth until they did that one little hiccup, and then I was like, yeah, they kind of messed it up for me in the match.
Yeah. They didn't. I like it when the Young Bucks don't do too much. You don't have to put all 5,000 of your moves in one match. Give me 10 of them.
I'm telling you right now, the only thing I miss right now is the Super Kick Party. That's all I miss.
Yeah.
I missed Super Kick Party. I missed the crowd. Matter of fact, no, fuck that. We missed one thing in AEW that we did not talk about. We did not talk about Mr. Orange fucking doing that spin around, hurricane around a DDT on on Pop.
Was that on Dark?
No. That was on part of the AEW show. You might miss to watch NXT. They literally had them and the Best Friends versus Pac and fuck is their damn name?
Oh, you're talking about Orange Julius. I don't mess with Orange Julius.
Yo, you had to watch that jump because even though he came in the ring and he did his little kick things, when Pac went to go do that front jump, little like bro kick, homeboy ducked to the left, ran full steam, ran the Pac, jumped up, hurricane Rana, spun around, and hit the DDT. And the crowd went crazy because that was the first move he actually did that was a real legit wrestling move without his hands in his pants. It was just the weirdest thing because everybody used to see him do regular shit and just get a pop. He did that shit and the crowd went crazy. Then he put his hands in the pockets and then he did the suicide dive. The crowd was going banoodles just because he did that. And I was like, wow, I didn't think he knew any real wrestling moves besides, the little shit he does now.
Yeah, he does wrestle, but it's like James Ellsworth and Drake Maverick. They can wrestle, they just don't.
Well, Drake Maverick can wrestle, but Drake Maverick know he gonna get his ass whooped unless he go 205, and you know how that looks already.
Yeah.
All right, last thing of the night. Kelvin says, "Did you guys see Hulk Hogan's beard?"
A beard?
Yeah, I said that to y'all. He grew the Santa Claus. He let the whole thing go out white.
Oh, okay.
It looks better on him all white than it just that little mustache combo shit he know he had. It's just
The Fu
beard,
Manchu that he always rocks.
The handlebars.
Yeah.
The handlebars.
Yo, I'm telling you, if you see him, he look like he can go to the hood club and pick up one little bad shorty with the beard he got.
All right. So
before we go, you know I ain't done this in a while, but I have a dark joke.
Okay.
And it's about my boy Chris Benoit.
Okay.
What's Chris Benoit's favorite holiday of the year?
What's Chris Benoit's favorite holiday of the year?
Christmas, because he get to hang things around.
Nice.
You know I gotta come back with the dark jokes now.
So this has been another episode of Ultra Heels Podcast. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Pule, Boxing Day, whatever you celebrate.
He said Boxing Day. Wow.
You can't leave the Canadians out.
You can't, but damn, I didn't think you were gonna say that.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, all that. The Wednesday Night Wars is off this week for Christmas because that's a Wednesday. Dynamite and NXT will be back on New Year's Day, the January 1st. If you don't know what New Year's Day is, January 1st. And I'm Darth Messiah. Santa Claus is a pedo. I stand by that.
Jesus.
I'm Alex motherfucking Hill, and I don't know what else to say to that.
All right, we out.
Oh shit. Play the intro.